Welcome in everybody, welcome back to today's stream. Flying today in the Cessna Citation X. I'm using a new headset as well, so I sound maybe a bit better today. My older headset seems to bust and is having some issues, but we're going to try this one. Also, thank you to National Sweetheart for the song and the common distribution license. Anyway, we're going to hop in there. It's a little bit rainy here around Guernsey, so the big question is, what do you mean, Grantham, by new FBO base at Guernsey? Well, simple, really. We have established a new fixed base of operations on the little island of Guernsey. And this, because it's one of my favourite airports, was obviously a logical pick for me. I had this choice, or I had another one, so I figured with the Cessna Citation X's capabilities and the other jets that I have, including the 737s, which are perfectly capable of taking off from here, this was actually a good place to set base of operations and to get going, basically, and get our business going from here. So we're just going to unshot the Citation and hope it doesn't roll away. We're going to do a little bit of walk around. It's been a while since I've been in this, but I'd never ever forget to mention it. Is that Laminar really did a great job of the Cessna Citation X. I think it was definitely a brilliant choice to bring this one into X-Plane 12. It was unique to this game. It was a brand new aircraft that they designed specifically for this. And actually it's a fantastic base model for any developers out there, because they can use this for their models. Essentially they could base it on this. I mean, this isn't perfect, but it's still one of the best models available. It's certainly got the best aerodynamics I've felt in one of these jets for a while. The detail on the engines of things is brilliant. Even the yeah, sure, the details here might be blurry, but actually overall I give this a 5 out of 5. It did a damn good job, and they also picked one of the better jets. Cessna Citation capable of carrying, I've seen only 8 seats in the back, and then 2 pilots, maybe 3 other people with the stewards on board. But apparently you can put more on X-Plane 12. Brilliant, so we have the rain in the window. We're going to see, let's get that door shut. We're pretty much loaded. I'm going to load it up now. But yeah, I want to see if the rain will get blown off the window, because obviously since 12.3's come out, there's been some significant improvements in the weather system. And just general improvements to aircraft and other things. Maybe it's because I've had some issues on my preferences, so things might look a little bit off, or maybe not. We'll wait and see. Maybe they always looks a little bit odd. I hope it's not reverted back to an older version of X-Plane 12, because it kind of does feel like that at the moment. It felt a lot clearer than this before. Anyway, it might just because I've been playing on flying high quality jets lately. I've just got myself a new jet, by the way, because everyone's having sales at the moment. And there'll be a new jet coming soon. The Gulfstream 550 was a brilliant addition as well to the hangar. So going on to our flight plan, it's going to be a long one. We have our first sector to excuse me, first sector to The Hague, and then we're going to continue on from The Hague all the way up to London City. There is some rough weather out there over Brussels, so wait and see how it goes. In terms of our weight and balance, we've got 1800 kg worth of fuel, which is pretty much already on board. We've got 2400 on board. And in terms of weight and balance, we have only 8 packs on board, so we're pretty much fully loaded. For some reason that's got 500 kilograms there for 8 people. We need to sort that out. I think I'm looking at like 140. I base it on basically 70 kg each. So obviously 140 gives you 280 for 4 people, roughly. That's what I've estimated it at. And the weight and balance for the cargo is 200 kg, so a lot less. There we go. And that's it. Then we can cross-check the zero fuel weight with the FMC. So let's get going, guys. Let's just check the cabin is secure. It is. And we're going to set our parking brake, make sure that is indeed on. Yes, it is. Awesome. Testing the standby power. Avionics and things are coming on. Oxygen, emergency lights to on, and then armed, and then fully up. Wing transfer and fuel pumps. Left generator, right generator, and we're going to reset the FADEC or the engine control system. Down here, so apparently I did some more looking up about why the Cessna Citation X on X-Plane 12 doesn't have a functional IRS, because it would usually be down here. Now, the reason is, guys, that apparently this particular model was modelled on an aircraft that didn't have a IRS. The IRS was built into the system, which I found really interesting. So it is in fact realistic. I thought it was just simply missing, but they've based it on an actual model that has the IRS built in. So in other words, the moment it comes online, it's already aligned. So I hope I'm explaining that well. So there's no need to have the switches. Also, with the recent updates, they've now added the ability to change this little weather radar thing down here. So previously, you wouldn't have been able to change these switches. These would have been all completely shut off to the pilot. Now, you have the option of the weather radar, which has just been added to X-Plane 12, and also gives the developers of other aircraft not associated with laminar research the ability to develop aircraft with the weather radar built in to it. I think that's great, guys. That means that if you have bought an aircraft and you're waiting for that weather radar update, there's no reason there why the developers should not be adding that. Laminar research have added it. I think it was like last month, or maybe September. Let's go ahead and stick our windshield heats on. I have assigned it a button, but it doesn't seem to be working, so go ahead and do that manually. APU's coming online. I guess it kind of is pushing the rain away. Let's just turn it off and see. It may just be the placebo effect. I can definitely hear the air conditioning. The sounds in general are a lot better as well. So your temper and the Mac trim are coming on. Yeah, so as you can see, the rain is sort of blowing away. Let's put the windshield heat on high. On again. And windshield air on. And let's see if that makes a difference. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, guys. That makes a heck of a lot of difference. Look at that. It actually bloody works. I'm so glad Laminar went for the solid objects as well, so you can't just pop through the side of the building in the aircraft. That is incredible. I've never used the windshield air as efficiently as this, but yeah, the solid objects. A lot of developers don't make solid aircraft, which I do not understand, so you can just slide through the building, the side of it. Right, down here to our load flight plan page, we have Echo Golf Juliet Bravo, which is Guernsey, to Echo Hotel Romeo Delta. Let's activate that, and I actually do need to fire my flight plan on the network, which is something I forgot to do. Apologies about this. Excellent, excellent. So the flight plan is coming up, and if we need to check it, we can do. So let's go back to flight plan, initialization. Cruise is probably not going to be that high, I don't think. Oh, actually, that is pretty good. 33,000 feet. Transition altitude and the cruise level is a 330. We've got the cruise winds are automatic, although you can check on the flight plan. We'll have a top of descent. Excuse me, top of climb. So as you can see, it's top of climb, 33,000 feet. Is 230 at 66, so it's come up with the right winds, which is great, and then we can enter the ISA. Maybe not the deviation, maybe we could enter the deviation. Let's try that. If we put, yeah, I was just gonna say that's for deviation, not the actual temperature. So with that completed, I'm so glad to be based here. I reiterate it, but this is going to be a fantastic point moving forward. QNH is, again, you can get that for the flight plan, but it's 1004. And we'll leave the standby on standard pressure. Of course, going into winter, guys, so the pressure is going to change significantly to lower on the last few months. Let's turn the windshield air off. We'll just leave the heat on, and you'll probably see the rain start to build up again. Or maybe not. Right, departure page, we have runway 27 is expected as usual. Ostrix 1 X-ray departure. Ostrix 1 X-ray departure. Activate that. So this one doesn't look preloaded. I thought it would do. performance, navigation, we want the arrival. Red for 3 Romeo, so the approach. Oh, excuse me, guys. Yeah, the star is there, and then we just got the runway 24. We can select the approach at our discretion, because I'm assuming that ATC won't be online, or maybe they will. Take off. All the information is pre-entered for us. It is in fact 10 degrees outside. Now, I can't wait to use this weather radar. This is going to be so good to use. As I say, guys, it's completely new. You definitely did not have this functionality before. So I'm so glad Laminar are doing that, and also that they're one of the few developers that actually listens to people. I don't know what it is, but they actually listen. They give people pretty good stuff, I have to say, in their updates, especially over the last few months. Right, so we're going to go for a wet runway condition. I think this works. No, so I've had issues with this before. Some things you can't select, like dry or wet runways. 5 degrees of flap, so that's probably all that we need. Takeoff weight is 23,000 pounds. There's no way to change the units in this, unfortunately. Runway usable 5,000. Passed. Flight level 330. Brilliant, and then we can check the land speed. That'll change as we get closer to the arrival. Let's just check the performance for takeoff again. Actually, no, not takeoff. What am I doing? We can't go back to it. I was going to say, there it is. Transition altitude. That's what we forgot to put in. So 5,000 feet. That's kind of standard, really. There's a lot of 5,000 transitions in the UK, and probably elsewhere as well. We're not exactly a high up nation, are we? We're quite flat landed here in most places. Right, that's it. Back to the flight plan. We are ready to get going. Everything that should be on. The packs realistically should be on. And also, I think the settings have been changed. Yes, that will be my preferences that have changed. I've forgotten how to put it into kg. Yes, I've forgotten how to do that. There was an option to change the preferences to... Actually, is it on iOS? That's in kg. Well, yeah, if you remember, guys, previously I was using it and it was giving me in like Celsius and metric system units. I wonder why it's reverted to pounds and Fahrenheit. Give me a sec. I really hope that when I reset the preferences, just so I could get Rex Blink 12 working, that it didn't, because as I say, has affected things massively. I just hope it hasn't reverted something that I can't change. As you remember, guys, you will have seen it. It was definitely in metric before. Give me a sec. Let's try and find it down here. Nothing really coming up on this one. See our radio barometric minimums. About 1,300 feet. And the barometric set, altitude 33,000 feet. We won't bother following the, it says 2,000 feet there, and then 4,000 feet for the departure. We probably won't be that high up. I'll keep it low on the departure. I'm going to pre-select the heading, so it's already pre-selected almost in the correct direction. If we select navigation to FMS up here, it will give us the right heading to 267. Awesome. The PFD setup is hectopascals. Again, I can't see anything on there that would do it. ET timer, ICAS systems. Just give you takeoff speeds. They should already be in there. I'm not sure why they aren't appearing. There we go. Alright guys, bear with me, I'm going to read it, see if I can find it. Unless they've recently changed it in the update, but I can't imagine they have done. Yeah, I'm not going to use the plane maker, which is what the internet's suggesting. I don't even think I need to be honest. I'm pretty sure I did it without it before. Ah, welcome in, Mike. And greetings from some random location in Guernsey, a beautiful airport. Yeah, since I've had this problem when I explain with things and systems messing up, things do look, I don't know if it feels like the whole file has reverted back to an older file. Because the graphics and things do not look as sharp on it. I don't know what it is. It definitely doesn't look as crisp. It definitely doesn't look as bright. Let's just check some of these lights. They kind of look alright. But, and then down here you got this thing in 55 rather than Celsius. A mystery. Weather radar is on standby. Let's going to test that in flight. That'd be nice to see the new functionality. I'm so glad it's been updated. On the online thing, there's nothing else coming up to change it. Well, the aircraft is the Cessna Citation X today, Mike. Also known as the 750, Cessna Citation 750. People call it different things. You can call it Citation 10. I mean, that's what an X is, isn't it? Yeah, so back up to the iOS. We've got it in metric systems. Let's go to pounds and then metric again. Maybe it's on the aircraft settings on the file. So go here to maybe accessibility. No, there's nothing on there. Keyboard, joysticks, general. General doesn't have any option for it. It's a shame actually. So I have to remember how I did that because obviously it's been so long since I've changed it. Yeah, that's what it's felt like over the last few days, but although there has been a small update to X-Plane 12, so I kind of feel like I don't really know what's happened, but it resulted in X-Plane 12 not functioning. Anyway, let's get a beacon and seatbelt signs on. Yeah, this thing down here with the Celsius, that is definitely something I need to figure out. Right, guys, we're ready to get going. Let's come down here to our taxi light. I cannot wait to use this weather radar. I think we're safe to put it on after the engine starts, so packs are off. Let's go for number 1. Introduce that. We should have our parking brake on. Although we didn't cycle the hydraulic pump, to be fair. Okay, that one started nice and brilliantly. Let's monitor it on the engine side of things. Oh really, it's such a stunning aircraft, guys. There is one actually, an X-Plane 12, which, excuse me, Microsoft, which came out. Now the Microsoft one does look brilliant, don't get me wrong, but the X-Plane one, I reiterate the point, I think it just takes that little bit of a leading edge, just because it was the default aircraft. And it's so well built. Anyway, so there's the fuel introduction. Just invert those profiles again. Feels like a gremlin has definitely been in the works. Takes the lights on, beacons are on. Engine has successfully started. Anti-skid is on. Auxiliary pump coming off. Okay guys, we're off to The Hague and then we'll do a short stopover when we get there, and we will continue on to most likely the London City, provided there's going to be no issues. The sound is a little bit quiet on the Citation today. Okay, weather radar, let's turn it on, let's see if it works. Then again, we haven't got anything over Guernsey at the moment. It's only when we get over the Brussels area that things are going to start to pick up. We'll turn the weather radar on when we're on taxiway anyway. Let's get going. Flight control check. Ailerons. Elevators. Let's just set that to 180 for the departure. Okay, the good thing that we're checking the joysticks, always good to double check these things. Yeah, so nothing's been assigned to Yoke on that one. Brilliant. And of course it's inverted. Yeah, talking about the Gremlins, not even related to computer stuff, but apparently they were talking about bringing out a Gremlins 3 movie, and it was only last year that I rewatched those Gremlin movies, and I tell you what, they actually stand up pretty well compared to today's things. Well, look at that, even the N1 percentage, which we could not change in the past, has magically been changed. That's interesting. I wonder if there's a way to do that. Maybe they added a functionality onto it. It's giving us more on the left than the right. We hope we don't have an engine desync. We're going the wrong way, guys. Let's turn around. Speed brake check. This is a good opportunity as well to just practice some taxiing. There we go. First flight back in the Citation X since those bugs. Today we're fully loaded. We have 8 people on board plus 2 pilots. I don't think we can see anybody in the back. Sometimes there is a Easter egg back there, but I won't ruin it for you guys. You can figure it out if you have the time. But why not? Why not turn that on? Okay, runway ahead, runway 27 identified. Go ahead and hold short. We're going to do some pre-takeoff checklists. The idea on this one is to leave the APU on as well, guys. You're meant to do that. We're going to take the packs on now. That's kind of grinding my gears about that temperature thing. Yes, it's going to grind my gears a lot. Right, so weather radar, let's turn it on. Actually, let's turn it to test and see if we get anything. Yes, we do. So they have in fact brought the weather radar. It's all the truth, guys. There's no lying by Laminar Research. That's brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant. See, this is the sort of things that you miss because I've become so accustomed to flying it without one that when the update came in, I never bothered to check it. Anyway, strobes on, landing lights are on. We probably need our continuous ignition, so in this case we're going to put our ignition to the on position. We're ready to go. Flaps to 5. When windy conditions, we hope we have a smooth departure. This is my new home FBO, and I'm so glad to pick Guernsey. If you guys want to see more flights from here in the future, and there will undoubtedly be many, we will do them. Will be a mixture of new aircraft. We've got the new Gulfstream to try out from here as well. I have been flying it here a little bit already, and there's a new plane coming, which I'm also very excited to do on streams as well, which is, I have to say, just the cream of the crop in terms of light jets. Landing lights on this not as bright as they could be. Right, we're going to do this a little bit different because it's a wet runway. Let's just advance our thrust to make sure there's no issues before we get going. If there's any issues, we can stop without taking the brakes off. Okay, so 30%, no issue. We're going to go full speed, take our thrust, and of course we got a runway warning there, so let's check it. Stabilizer is not trimmed. One of the basics of the aircraft on the Citation, you have to put in the green zone. Sometimes I'll leave it and sometimes it is okay, but the trim is so essential. So let's try again. 30%, brakes off. Take off for a set. Airspeed is live, 80. V1 rotate. Positive rate climb, the gear is coming up. Reduce that thrust to take to the whatever position you want to. Climb position might be good. We only got 4,000 feet limit above minimums. Let's get our flaps of slats retracted. Let's switch over to vertical navigation. 33,000 feet is coming up, we might as well do that. We're going to follow the departure manually for the time being. That's the switch in the cabin should be on. Okay, we're still pitching up quite steeply. It's 15 degrees, which is normal. We're going to do our first turn. We're above the departure height because we're going to go straight up to 33,000 feet. So here we go, guys. Nice and smooth. And don't be afraid to bank, and this 30 degrees will be a lot in the Citation. It's a big, big jet. It's only a medium-sized one, but it is pretty damn big. It's probably borderline medium to large. You see that climbing at 270, we're now at 8,000 feet. Let's go ahead and switch our landing lights off and our seatbelt signs. I'll wait till we get a little bit more stable. And maybe wait until 10,000 feet. FMC, so JBW01 to JBW02. I wonder if it's missed a waypoint off. There we go. Brilliant. Keep climbing now. Probably not as steep. We can reduce that angle of attack. And autopilot comes on. Hopefully it's going to continue up to 33,000. Let's put that in there. Maybe not. Let's do flight level change. 170. Do flight level change and we'll do a autopilot on. There's 12,000 feet. Let's get the seatbelt signs off. Let's get the APU offline. Auxiliary power unit. Well, a smooth departure. I really love this airport for so many reasons. It's so tucked away as well. I don't think many people know about it. Just try and get a view of the engine. That looks so brilliant, isn't it? Okay, in terms of speed, let's do it manually again. Let's try 270 at 33,000. Yep, there we go. So it's changed on that one. And the ignition back to normal. And the anti-ice coming on. Pitot heats. So I did change out my switches, but again the preferences have been removed. So do it manually on all of them. Alright, we've got a little bit of time there. I'm going to look that up about the Celsius to Fahrenheit. See if we can get the problem changed in flight. Also, with regards to the weather radar, we have PFD weather on there, and then well, they don't do much, to be fair. We've got MFD map. We can turn the weather on and off. There we go. Alright guys, give me a minute. It might go silent. I'm just going to be looking up the system and how to change it. Okay, here's the rough weather, so it's getting right into it already. Now we've got past that waypoint as well, we can safely change it back to vertical navigation. Cabin lights are still not coming on, that's very odd. Usually they come on as well. So the master switch down here, interior master switch, usually would provide lights in the dark unless they've changed it. Ah, so they just flickered on and went off. I can't wait till they add functionality to this button here. Some of those buttons with lights, of course, and with the tables. We're above 18,000 feet. Let's put the sync on the fan. Everything else is looking pretty good down here though. Didn't do our enunciation test, but that's fine. I already know the aircraft is functional. Actually, one cool thing about this one, I don't think people know this, but there is in fact down here a total hours. So as you can see, I have a lot of hours on this aircraft. Many hours. That's in the A view obviously, but I think that reflects the real flight time as well. Pressurization is good. We set it to 45. We need to set it to 33,000 feet. Pressurized about 5,000 now. Sorry, we're pressurized to... yeah, about 5,000 feet I think between... 5,000 on there and then 6, 7 and 8 on there. For some reason that's not climbed up. Temperature wise, we've probably got it at the right temperature for now. We'll change that if we need to. Pressurization is good, check that. Pitot and anti-static heats are on. Yeah, so all along these things down here not functioning, which tells me they were obviously planning that weather radar for a long time before they released it. And also, that gives me hope that they will give you some functionality over here as well and allow you to change a few more things which aren't currently working in a future update. Maybe this thing overhead actually, this would be pretty cool. We'll do the old announcement system, the TV systems. Feet to go. looking rough. Looking really rough. The lights have finally come on in the cabin. We've not had much on the weather radar though, nothing really appearing on it. I have got it on WX, WX and weather. The test loop function did work as well. Let's just increase the sweep and tilt. Once there's the cruise at 270, which seems well too slow, doesn't it? But we're going to reduce the thrust anyway. Probably about between 80 and 85, I think is probably a good place. A lot of it is just with the autopilot not controlling the auto throttle or anything like that, because it's separate systems. There's no auto throttle built in, so you have to guess where the best spot is, and over time it will work. Pretty stable though once it's in flight. Apparently guys, this is very interesting, but according to the internet it says that the air conditioning in the X-2012 Citation X uses Celsius as its default, which is what I thought it was at, so obviously I hadn't changed anything. So the bug is not necessarily that it's reverted anything that I've done, but it seems to have reverted it back to Fahrenheit rather than Celsius. But the default one apparently is Celsius, which is even more confusing. There's no option down here for it. If anybody does know in chat, or maybe in watch up, then please let me know. I had some hiccups the last few days, so to get this fixed would be really, really great. Okay, bear with me guys, I'm just going to pause the flight a second. To flight configuration, and it's telling me to go to weather. Customize. There we go. So atmospheric conditions, Fahrenheit, let's change it to Celsius. And kilometers on there. Now that should have resolved the issue. Thank you to the internet. You'd think it'd be an easy thing to find, but for some reason you type it in and nowadays, like, I don't know what it is, they just give you all sorts of information that isn't related to it. And of course it hasn't worked, so yeah, thank you internet for wasting my time. Interesting, very interesting. Well, almost had a resolved issue there. Almost. I'm not giving up on this, guys. I know we're on a private jet here. We've got plenty of time to do it. There we go. There we go. Okay. Obviously, it's just a click on the thing, isn't it? Thank you, Laminar Research, for that ability. By the way, I didn't even know. It's been so long since I changed it. All that confusion for nothing. Anyway, let's plan for our arrival at last. So, red for 3 Romeo, Echo Golf. Actually, what is our airport called? Romeo Delta. Oh god. Echo Hotel, Romeo Delta. Rotterdam The Hague. We have flown over Amsterdam and things before in the beautiful Just Fly Piper Arrow 3, which I'm really looking forward to flying as well sometime soon, but it is like ice cream and chocolate, you know, too much of it can spoil it, but in general it's a very, very nice aircraft. Should be on standard pressure at this altitude, although to be fair, standard pressure is something that's used by aircraft because of other aircraft in the vicinity, i.e. airspace. In this situation, I don't know why, but since X-Plane 12.3 came out, you cannot use AI aircraft on this, it no longer functions. Potentially Laminar Research could look into that. So previously I could load up with AI aircraft, but now I load up with AI aircraft and nothing appears. I would like to know, you know, like to see that appearing again. Back to the charts. 1004 the QNH, the arrival. Only one arrival here for the star, and coming in from the west, aren't we? There's the red for 3 Romeo arrival. So it's actually got us going over London, it seems. We're actually flying over London to The Hague, and then on our way back we'll be going from The Hague to London. How interesting. There's some limits and things here about holding procedures, communication failures. Transition level is 3,000 feet. I got a few frequencies there for the approach and things, so we can't use this with X-Wing 12, I don't think. It's not the same frequencies. Yes, so we're coming in from the London angle. I think we might be over London now. Yeah, so we're going up London towards Barkway, and then taking that southerly turn. A very, very awkward flight plan though, for a flight over Europe. I'm wondering if there's some airspace restrictions down there. So red for 3 arrival and a course of 144. Let's go ahead and set that. Let's keep our VOR 1 on, and we'll keep the VOR 2 on. We may have something to tune in, so we've got a 6,000 feet altitude limit there. Rotterdam The Hague 110.4. Let's check the approach. Runway 24. Again, we've got a bit of discretion here. We could do a VFR visual approach, or we could do an ILS, or even a VOR approach. That might be interesting. So 2,000 feet altitude, category of aircraft. That's very, very useful actually, this. And then 2,000 feet for the go round. I think we might as well do that, guys. We might as well do the VOR approach. It's runway 24. That's going to be interesting. Very, very interesting. Let's pre-plan for our arrival then. Let's get our things programmed in. VOR DME, runway 24, and what's on the charts there? We've got a few different ones. RTM 566779. To Atwood, let's choose ATM 1. Activate that. Not using the altitude, the transponder today, just because there's no other aircraft. As I say, you don't really need this sort of stuff. We're going to be doing it in our own airspace. Okay guys, we're trying to get established now. We're going to be starting to descend at 6,000 feet anytime soon. As our top of descent, after Redford, that's the arrival. And as according to the charts, we're going to be doing the VOR approach, and it will be 6,000 feet and then down to 2,000. As you can see there, by outwit, and then hopefully centre fix. Well, there's no centre fix because this is a different kind of approach, but this is going to be super interesting. I actually flew a few NDB approaches last night as preparation for this one. And just getting back at the jets, I really do prefer a lot of variation in them. ILS is alright, but once you've done an ILS, it's yeah, you've done an ILS, you've done every ILS, I think. Okay, so 6,000 feet, let's get our altitude down on there to 6,000. So you can see them changing the MCP, the main control panel altitude, flight level 100. The altitude knob itself is situated down here, so it's a little bit out of reach. As you can see, course, altitude and heading. They do have a heading sync, a cruise course sync as well though. Landing speed estimated is 128, about the speed. The V speed, VREF is 123. Quite low speeds. I've always found them a little bit low in the Citation X. There's our descent point. We should be descending down to 10,000 feet. Usually it would be automatic, so let's go ahead and just put that on flight level change, and we'll do it that way. So idle the engines, or bring them way back. Yeah, well done Laminor Research. I hope you continue, and I really hope you bring these aircraft over to the next edition of X-Plane, or just keep X-Plane 12 and just keep improving it. Seriously, this is a great plane. You guys should keep it for future releases. I really think you should keep it and definitely make it transferable to new editions. Look at that. That's a one in a lifetime view. They even took the time to put the signs on. That actually kind of looks like a new sign, to be fair. I haven't noticed that before. Maybe I've just seen it so much I've forgotten it. But either way, it does look a little bit new. Yeah, very, very good there with the little details. Bring it over to new editions. Make sure you, well, do what you want, but make sure you add more jets, I think, because you do a damn good job of it. Nothing's come up on the web radar. Oh, what's that down there? Oh wow, they're new. Again, new features just popping out everywhere. We've even got new heliports for the... Oh, that's so incredible, isn't it? They're the oil rigs. So we now got oil rigs to land on. This is absolutely amazing. All the way up the Netherlands coast. That is amazing to see. We'll have to fly there and chopper one day, although my chopper skills are really, quite poor. You should see me fly the Sikorsky. I ended up in a situation with that thing. Let's just check what the winds are. We've probably not got much to worry about, but you never know, there may be something popping up. So takeoff date, it said 15, we usually use 5 on this channel. And it usually doesn't make too much of a difference. Landing runways, and so takeoff data, we have the landing data. QNH1005, it seems pretty accurate so far. A minor change there. Full flaps, and the estimated speed won't pop up, but we have got the ILS 110.9. We'll see if that one works and if it corresponds with the game. I'm not sure it will though. More landing data there, so we have no en route icing, max manual braking on this one. There's the Hague. Let's double check the ILS frequency corresponds with the chart. So this will be interesting to see. What I'm saying. 110.9. 110. Yeah, so it is the exact same frequency. Thankfully, X-Plane 12 does in fact match the charts, and we're going to get this one as a reference to nav 2. Go ahead and tune nav 1 in to 110 on there. Turn the engine sync off, we're coming up to 18,000 feet. Double check the pressurization. Pressurization has been pretty good. We haven't really gone above, as I say, 7,000 to 8,000, which is standard across the majority of aircraft. So some smaller jets probably won't even get up to that. They might be limited to 5,000 to 6,000 cabin pressurization. This is pointing towards our VOR2, which we've just tuned in. We can also put it onto the localizer. VOR2 is going to be a good reference for the co-pilot, and let's get our APU coming online as well. Straight down to 6,000 feet, I think. Bringing our speed back now to 250 knots. Generator and maximum bleed air. It's up to you, I guess. I probably wouldn't see any issue if you put like normal bleed air on this. So maximum cool probably on the ground, and then on is probably fine in the air, I think. With regards to the conditioning and the air conditioning from the engines, apparently there's so we're good at high pressure, but we should have it on low pressure and then high pressure when we're above a certain altitude. So we can switch back to low pressure now when we're below 20,000 feet. I'd say 15,000 is the point where you put it onto high pressure. But again, just experiment with what's best and see what you like. You can of course follow it to the T and follow Laminar Research's built checklist. Down to 3,000 feet. Still coming to flight level 330, which is incorrect. We have got a different altitude on the chart, but this is not showing the correct altitude with the VNAV, although it probably will follow it at this point. Anyway, we're very close. We do need to get set up for landing a little bit more. Go ahead and stick our seatbelt signs on. Please return to your seats, everybody. Stick your trays in the upright position. Put your seatbelts on and sit tight. Flying with GranthamCPT today. We are of course going to be stopping over in The Hague for a short stopover, and then we'll continue our journey onto London City Airport, where no doubt we're going to have a steep approach, or maybe not, depending on the weather conditions. Landing lights on. Slats are being deployed. Look at this. This Netherlands area is one of my favourites to fly into. It's such a unique place. It just doesn't look like there's many other places in the world. You have all the scattered land, you have all the windmills. It's just incredible. Look at that bridge. You know, these sites, guys, Netherlands and Amsterdam in Europe are certainly worth the trip, let's put it that way. on a visual and a semi-visual approach, I guess, so we need to keep our eye out for this airport. Runway 24. It's not the airport in front of us, although it should be around this area momentarily. Look at this, we're going right over the canals, right over the Hague. There it is. And we'll switch this from FMS, flight management, to navigation on the final. We aren't going to be using the ILS necessarily, but it will be there to guide us in. There's the runway. Airport's looking nice and big. We'll have to find general aviation parking and we get parked, so let's just check the chart. So ground chart will be useful. Ground movement, taxi routes. Okay, brilliant. That's actually pretty easy to follow, so we can get off of runway 24, taxi down this taxiway here to taxiway Yankee, and then got an F apron down there. That might be a little bit better actually, although that might be useful. Either Delta or Charlie is good. We'll go for those if there's a space available. Right at the end of the runway. See if we can see it down there. I think I can already see where we're going to be going. There's GA parking over at the back. Brilliant. A lot of small planes there at the Hague. Let's hope the runway's big enough. I'm going to slow down now. I'm going to introduce. Should give us a slow down point any second. We've got it a bit too fast. 5 degrees of flaps. Of course, half bank comes off. We need to make this turn within the appropriate time, otherwise we'll miss the approach. Let's stick our weather radar on standby. It's probably not going to be much use at this point, or we turn it off actually, and then we'll change it when we get back in the air again. Down to 2,000 feet. Final approach. Slowing down to about 232, which we're already at. "15 degrees of flaps" comes in when we're below 210 knots. And then full flaps below 180 along with gear. Runway in sight. 15 degrees of actually no, we'll wait just a tiny bit longer. Just waiting for that speed to change on here, but it's not changed the altitude or the speed, which is unfortunate. Should be changing the speed for us. Let's change it manually. Down to about 180. 15 degrees of flaps. Navigation for the localizer. I'm going to switch the approach switch so we can get a little bit established, and then I'll take control. Set our reference speed, so we double check our VAP down here. We have 128, which is not much. With 7 knot crosswind. Gear full flaps. It's not really locking onto the localizer like I hoped, so autopilot disengaged. Let's get the yaw damper off as well. Maintain our speed where it currently is. Strong winds blowing us a little bit all over the place. We've got to be careful that we don't get manhandled by it. $1,000 feet. Did we set minimums? No, we didn't. Let's set minimums quickly to 200 feet. We're coming in slightly hot and slightly high, but that's kind of how I anticipated it would be with this kind of wind, so at least that way we can reduce our speed. There he goes, got one pappy light. Minimums we're going to continue. Landing spot. It's fine, everybody.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Reverses and spoilers. Reverses disengaged. Spoilers retracted. Oh, not bad at all. That wind was a lot stronger than I thought. How bad was that? About 11 knots, not too bad. Anyway, let's taxi to parking everybody and get some refreshments for our next flight. This has been a fun flight to do on a Saturday. I didn't expect to have so much fun doing it. Anyway, we're going to hold short here just briefly and just find out where we're parking. So, taxi lights, landing lights, pitos. Probably don't need the window air on. Strobe lights. Please stay in the seats until we get to parking and then you'll be free to go where you want. So, did we get off at the right taxiway? That's the question. I think we did, yeah. So we got off at Victor 3. And that was where we are now, Victor 3. So we'll taxi straight down Yankee and then we'll go into Charlie. Welcome to The Hague, everybody. Leave the interior master off and then we'll switch it back on when we go back up to London. Kind of think we should have done it the other way around now. Maybe we should have gone London City first and then come to The Hague. Either way, we're here now. We're going to be able to stop here. Delta 3. Probably should have taxied all the way around and then come in the opposite direction, but I'm sure it'll be fine. Parking brake is set. APU is online. We need to switch some lights off, so seatbelt signs coming off, packs coming off. Engines in the shut off position. We should have taxi lights off at this point as well. Standby mode on the autopilot. I'll leave the bleed out on the engines on low just because we know we're going to come back out, and I'll leave the lights on. I'll turn the beacon off though, and we'll leave it in a sort of standby position. I need to clear, for some reason that flight plan's come back up again, but I do need to clear that out and load up the new one. So we'll leave it in standby. Let's get the door open. The ignition should be on when we're landing. Standby power, let's get GPU on. So connect power. We'll chop the aircraft as well. External power, so at least that way we can charge up the battery while we're sat on the ground. Oil pressure low, that's fine, we've got the APU on. Alright guys, I'm going to leave it in a standby mode and then we'll continue this momentarily. Let's hop outside. We're living in a ready to go state. We're hot and ready, so please join me in a couple of minutes after I've got the flight planning thing sorted and we will continue. Thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to begin our second leg of today's Saturday flight. What a pleasure it's been so far. Hope you've all grabbed some new refreshments, snacks, drinks, whatever else. Teas, biscuits, scones. I do like a good scone with some butter and jam. So yeah, checking the network. Net was pretty busy. We got some people online there to control us. And of course the weather is going to be a little bit clearer up high, but then obviously as we get down low over London it'll probably be quite rough. So just got the flight plan loaded pretty quick. We have got 27 for the arrival, so this should be pretty interesting. Let's go ahead and hop back in the old Citation X. Let's do our weight and balance again. So we have got various changes here. The weight and balance will be changed. In your mind, I have the same amount of people on board. Yep, we've actually got more passengers aboard this time. We've got 10 people. I'm not sure where they're going to sit, but we've got 10 people on board, so we're going to add another 2 here, so about 70 kg, taking us up to 360. We'll do that there. Maybe for a steward or someone else who would sit in the toilet, perhaps. Obviously, they're not going to sit on the toilet, they would have a protective cover. And we've got 200 of baggage, which is still on board. Centre of gravity is looking good. Fuel-wise, we actually came with more fuel than we needed, and we still got 1200 kg left. We need 2000, so let's go ahead and crank that up. Realistically, we could have refueled at the beginning and saved some time, but obviously I'd like to do it a little bit differently. So, flight plan will be downloaded. We're going to go into this. We do need to clear some of these things out, which is sometimes a pain, but most of the time a pleasure. And for some reason it's got 5 pages of data in there. Let's just go to flight plan. Navigation, flight plan, and so sometimes when you click invert or you click stuff on here, it will mess up the FMS. So I would recommend just simply loading in a new flight plan. Here we are, going to London City. Let's do that and activate. Brilliant, and we are going to watch the replay, guys. I just realised we didn't watch it, so let's go ahead and watch that now. It was a pretty good landing, to be fair. Rudder pedals are still a little bit of a tricky thing one to get used to on the Citation, because it's not got the best nose wheel steering in the world anyway. So obviously it takes some time. Well, what a replay, guys. I just wanted to throw that in very, very quickly. What a replay, though. Not too bad, actually, I have to say. That was a nice, smooth touchdown. Barely felt it. There was no smoke. And where there's smoke, there's fire. So, FMS1, what have we got going in our systems? Let's just pressurise that hydraulic brake once more. The chocks are in fact on. Let's get them removed. Chocks are off. APU's been running. We could have had the packs on, I guess, the whole time as well. Cabin doors closed. Let's get our recognition lights. In fact, what we need to do, guys, I need to make sure we're in a safe space to get out of here, meaning we've got a flight plan filed. meaning we've got ATC clearance. We don't want to go without that. That would be pretty bad. Right, so where are we? We're over The Hague. It's actually got ATC at Eham, which is covering this airport, and apparently the airport we're at has the tower and ACE information, which is absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Let's reconnect because of the replay just disconnected us. So, what have we got? ACE information. Let's just wait for that to load in. There's a tower on 118.205. Let's just listen while we get the ACE information frequency. 128.565. So guys, the ACE information gives you obviously the current information for the airport, weather information, etc. Departures and arrivals, and will also tell you, basically give you the pilots a way to communicate with ATC, which is a lot of jargon, which is complicated when it isn't in reality. So,
variable between 130 and 210 degrees, visibility 10 kilometers or more, 2,000 broken, 2,400 broken, 3,800 overcast, tempo 2.8, QNH 1003 hectopascal. Trend, no significant changes. Acknowledge information Oscar. Contact
003. Information Oscar. Never had that one before.
Rotterdam information Oscar. Main landing runway 24. Transition level 45. 170 degrees. 12 knots. Variable between 130 and 210 degrees. Visibility 10 kilometers or more. 2,000 broken. 2,000 broken. 3,800 overcast. Temperature 2.8, 100 hectopascal. Trend, no significant changes. Acknowledge information Oscar at first. Contact.
Well, that's quite interesting. So we've got bad visibility conditions, which is expected. We're in Delta 3 parking space. Cessna Citation X. So, just want to check this flight plan before we contact them and make sure we got the right thing. I'll just double check the cruise altitude. It's giving us 20,000 feet. We'll put the cruise altitude in 20,000, and then if the ATC gives us anything different, we can change it. 200. Let's do navigation and flight level mode. Just change that speed again to about 100. They say 180, but you know, you can put it at a higher speed and it'll give you a less steep climb. So maybe about 220 would be a little bit better. Okay, back to the departure. Some L2 Bravo departure. Runway 24. It's coming up with the on. Damn. 24. Some L2 Bravo departure. Activate. I'm going to do the same thing for the arrival as well. So again, the arrivals come in, that's correct, runway 27, so I know from experience runway 27 is most likely going to be an ILS approach. I said I wasn't keen on them, but obviously sometimes, the majority of cases, you have to fly them. Flight plan performance data, things will be changed here, such as the cruise level. So cruise level there should be 200. Can't change it, we'll have to change it some other way. 5 degrees of flaps. According to the takeoff, we need... Actually, let's check the top climb conditions. So 20,000 feet is not too bad. 005, slightly different on the charts. It has given us a reference speed, though, of 129 for the V2. Let's see how accurate that is with 15 degrees of flaps. So it's a little bit off on the charts, off from what we've got in the aircraft, but I think it's probably the very accurate, actually, very accurate. It's interesting to see where they get information from. Climb, we've put 33, but we really need 200 in it. There's not really any way to change that. Anyway, we can just do it ourselves when we get past Summel. So flight level 200. We've got to do the Jacko arrival. I'm not too keen on that arrival, guys. I've done it before and it's been a bit of a long one, to be fair.
visibility 6 kilometers, light rain, few clouds at 1,800, 2,200 overcast, temperature 10.8, QNH 103 hectopascal, trend, becoming visibility 10 kilometers or more, no significant weather, edge information Papa at first, contact. This is Rotterdam information Papa, main landing runway
Change that to Papa.
4, transition level for 5,
That's how quickly it changes, guys.
11 knots, variable between 120 and 20 degrees, visibility 6 kilometers, light rain, few clouds at 1,800, 2,200 overcast, temperature 2.8, QNH 1003 hectopascal, trend, becoming visibility 10 kilometers or more, no significant weather, acknowledge information Papa at first.
Let's contact them, so 12118 205 for the tower. I think that's who we contact. There's nobody else available to give us clearance. Rotterdam Hague Tower, this is November 750 Sierra Bravo, parked at Delta 3 with information Papa, request IFR departure clearance to London City.
November 75 Sierra Bravo, cleared London City, Somal to Bravo, departure wind 24. Initial climb 3,000 feet, squawk 7331.
Brilliant, so he's given us an initial altitude of 3,000, which is fine, and then obviously continue up after that. November 750 Sierra Bravo, clear to London City, Valley Somal to Bravo departure, initial climb altitude 3,000 feet, squawk 7331.
November 750 Sierra Bravo, read back correct, startup approved, information Papa, QNH 1003.
QNH 1003 on information Papa and clear for the startup Tango November Sierra Bravo. Right, let's get going. So the call signs I might start changing them. It is the default one off SimBrief, but I think they're all right. Right, clear for the startup. We got standby mode on there. Let's squawk 7331. Let's get ready for the... I don't want to tune Unicom just yet. Anyway, beacon's coming online. Packs are off. APU bleed air is on. We're all clear to start, I think. So let's go for number 1, the right side. Well, rain's building up again, guys. We're going to see those fantastic windshield effects when we turn the air conditioning on the windshield. Introduce the fuel. It's only a short flight this, guys, to London City, I think 30 minutes. Number 2 engine coming online. (3,000 feet initial altitude). Let's just set... It should technically follow it on the FMC, the FMS. 3,000 feet. If we just put 3,000 feet in. (220 is the speed). So successful engine start number 1 and 2. Safe to get our packs on now for the conditioning, and I'm going to do the windshield air in a sec. Not much of an effect. The rain is not too bad, to be fair. Yeah, not too much rain. It'd be nice to see that in the storm weather. Pitos, wait till takeoff for those. Taxi lights, and we'll get a taxi clearance as well. It does seem super quiet. I don't know what's going on with my computer lately, but the sound is also very low. Let's just turn that cockpit sound up a little bit more. Right, we're at Delta 3, information Papa, ready to taxi runway 24, suspect, with, yeah, Papa QNH 1003. That's pre-planned actually, I don't want to get lost. So, airports, taxiway Yankee most likely, and then Victor 1. Sorry, Victor, taxiway Victor there for runway 24. We don't need the taxi routes off, we need the aerodrome chart in general. And it doesn't give us our location in it, which is unfortunate. Yankee, and then taxiway Victor. And he'd probably give us Victor 5 hold short, I'm guessing. See if I'm right or not. Probably will be though, I think I'm probably going to be close to right. November 750 Sierra Bravo, information Papa, Delta 3 stand, ready to taxi.
November 750 Sierra Bravo, taxi on the point Victor 6, runway 24.
Alright, Victor 6 right, runway 24, November 7 Sierra Bravo. Okay, it's actually given us the whole runway there, so this must be a pretty short one. It is 2,000 on there. I'm going to become a channel which is probably known for doing short landings and short runways in aircraft that are probably not suitable. Although we did stop in time, it's an absolute fine length. It's just it's not as long as some of the other runways we've been on. Anyway, Victor 6, let's get going. Area is clear around the aircraft. Clear left, clear right, read back instructions prior to entering runway please. Or read back prior to entering the runway area, which we'll get closer to. By the way, another thing I've noticed on the update is before you wouldn't notice the bumps over the lights and things, but now when you drive over them and roll over them, the aircraft actually bumps. I don't know if you guys can see that. I think that's a really good touch. It was not as noticeable before.
Control Tower, Transavia 301, information Papa, IFR clearance to the service field.
That's him there, the aeroflot, nice.
To Frankfurt. Connection Frankfurt. Transavia 301. Clear Frankfurt, Lunix 2, Bravo, the bar 0824. Initial climb 3000.
Just leave it for QT. I believe it is. Not the best pronunciation, is it?
Clear Lunix 2, Bravo, departure 0824. Initial climb 3000, speed and squawk 1000, Transavia 301.
Actually, we should be squawking mode Charlie. Let's squawk mode Charlie.
301, reaper correct. Service approved, information Papa, QNH 1003. Third approved information Papa, QNH 1003, Transavia 301.
Do a flight control check when we line up. I'm wondering if they just improved the sound on the aircraft in general and gave it a bit better, bit of a more isolated feel to it. So obviously they've made it better insulated from the sound of the engines. It sounds the same in the back. By the way guys, if you're new here, usually the schedule is...
Bravo, report and ready for departure.
Wilco, report ready for departure, November Sierra Bravo. We will Wilco and we'll report ready and we will be taking off to London City. So yeah, if you guys are new here or if you're recurring, you probably already know, but I do stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday in Explain 12. Today's a little bit different because I wanted to get my new FBO off the ground and get a new job done. We've probably pulled in over this 2 trips from Guernsey to The Hague and then The Hague to London a total of about 16 to 17 grand, which is pretty good to be fair for a day's work. And that's just per passenger. So So imagine what we've pulled in total. It is a big jet though, guys. It's expensive to operate. It's not as expensive as the Gulfstream, but it's certainly up there as one of the most pricey. This is not exactly the most modern avionics. It is Honeywell, based on Honeywell. In this case, it's X-Plane well, but again, these are sort of semi-old, semi-new systems. The transition era from the gauge, the old analog gauges to the digital, I guess. Still have a lot of switches and things in the cockpit. We probably should check our departure chart just to make sure we know where we're going. West, I'm assuming, or west, more like north though. There's the chart, guys. So 220 knots. knots. Down the Sommel will be departure of 3,000 feet. Once we get to the departure point, i.e. Sommel, which is not very far at all according to the chart, we can then transition to 20,000 feet as per the flight plan. Keep it open for you guys. I wouldn't limit it. It would be nice to add an EFB into here, I think. Let's make it a little bit more realistic. Anyway, here's Victor 6. Brakes are working fine. Just a quick control check on the ailerons. They don't move that far in the game, I have to say. That it looks far, but I think they can move slightly more in real life. Hold short, we'll report ready in a moment. So, landing lights. Ignition's coming on. The pitos and strobe lights. Seatbelt sign should be on by now. What's the temperature? 10 degrees, 3,000 feet initial altitude. For some reason we're in the negative on the altitude thing. Take our excuse me, barometric minimums. I think in this case probably about 1,000 feet. And flaps to 5. Heading of 262. FMS 1 selected, the course is selected, altitude 3,000 will be followed. You know what, let's just put it at 3,000 feet and we'll change it. We'll change it when we get there. We don't want to do it wrong, everybody. Cool, I think we're just about ready to go. November 750 Sierra Bravo, holding short Victor 6, ready for departure, runway 24.
November 750 Sierra Bravo, stand by short.
I actually didn't hear what he said then. What did he say? Say again, November Sierra Bravo.
November 750 Sierra Bravo, it's going to be a short delay.
Roger that. November Sierra Bravo. Okay, short delay there in clearance for departure, that's fine. Gives us some time. There's also a nice GA plane just parked up down here, which is good. Perhaps I expect this plane to come in and land. Maybe that's why there's a delay there. Anyway, we can hold short and just wait. I'm just going to turn the temp down ever so slightly because it's a little bit too hot in the cabin. In the cockpit at least. In that case, guys, if we're going to wait and we've got a delay, let's just put our ignition on normal until we're cleared to depart. And We'll keep the landing lights off as well until we're cleared to take off. I do suspect there's an issue with clearance perhaps, or change of flight plans, which might be why there's a delay, or of course the arrival. V-speeds, let's check those. So takeoff is 115 V1, VR is 120, and V2 is 132. Wonder what the delay is though, guys. That's interesting.
Ground 301 is ready for taxi. Ground 301, expecting definite delay. Expect some delay, Ground 301. And 301, I'm kidding. Taxi holding point Victor 6024. Victor 624, Ground 301.
Well, he said he's kidding on that guy. I really hope he's not messing around with us, keeping us waiting for nothing. It doesn't seem like there's any reason to, anyway. Well, we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see what happens. If he doesn't give us clearance, which I don't know, we can just tune into another frequency. Let's get Honeycomb on standby now. We can. 22.8. Yeah, we've got to be careful of the fuel burn because we're only expecting 2,000 kg. The trip itself is about 590, so we've got to be careful here how much we use weighting. I'm starting to think the controller might be pulling our leg here a little bit, but that's not professional. It's not something you should be doing over the network. We'll assume he's telling the truth. If he is pulling our leg and joking like he was with the other guy, that could be a potential ban issue, you know. They've got tower at Schiphol Airport, but they've got no departure. There's no departure or arrivals for this airport, unfortunately. Just the ACE information and the tower. Anyway, lights are on nice and early. They weren't working too much on the ground before. I think it's below a certain... it's got to do with the amount of clouds, I think, and the amount of darkness in the game. How late in the day. TCAS should be on. Is the weather radar on? Let's stick it onto standby. I think it'll work straight away if we put it onto weather mode.
For the pod ready for departure.
Okay, he's not giving his clearance yet. I wonder if he's forgot we're even waiting.
Upon reaching Victor 6, ready for departure. Pacific 301. Roger.
Ooh. Yeah, bang out of order if this is some kind of sick joke. Really is bang out of order, guys. This is partly why I don't want to use this kind of network anymore. What is that stand there? Is that AGA parking? Just a little area there, maybe a run-up area potentially. And there are always waypoints around the airport: Tango, Papa, Oscar, etc. So we're going to be going probably.
Number 750, Sierra Bravo, apologies for the delay. Runway 24, clear for takeoff, wind 170 east, 11 knots.
Runway 24, clear for takeoff, November Sierra Bravo. Okay, brilliant, we're clear for takeoff. Let's go ahead and do that. He said there was a delay, but I don't want to ask him what it is. I really don't. Landing lights, and we're clear to go. I should have timed that though and checked how long the actual delay was. Where's the clock in this thing? Let's get the timer on. Flight time 57 minutes. Not too bad. Limited to 220 at 3,000 feet. Departure looks like it may be a little bit tricky. I'm going to have some tight turns at the beginning. I will probably hand fly this up to 3,000 feet and then we'll engage the autopilot. Advance the thrust to 30%. No GPU. Blimey, we're not still connected to that thing, are we? Didn't even see it. And takeoff power is set. Speed is live. The control on the ground in the Citation X is not great. As you can see, bouncing a little bit. V1 rotate. Whoa, 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 whoa. We have a wind departure there.
So 301, expect a short delay.
Gear up.
Expect short delay, 301.
Flaps up. Let's reduce that thrust because we're only going up to 3,000 feet. We're only going to use 10 degrees of pitch on this one.
November 750, Sierra Bravo, contact ship approach 121, decimal 205, bye-bye, next flight.
11205, November Sierra Bravo, thanks to the ATC. Okay, brilliant, so there's our departure turn. We're going to contact 121-205, let's see if we can do that. Let's actually get the autopilot on so it makes it easy to control, and we can put the frequency in at the same time, otherwise we're going to struggle. I need to get myself a tuning thing, guys, so I can do it with my hands rather than the keyboard.
Bravo 134-375, and that's line for 1 Bravo, head up. Scandinavian 3907, speed 180 knots.
Normal ignition. It makes sense now because the departures from Schiphol Airport.
428, hello, climb flight level 130. Climb flight level 130, Scandinavian 428.
Yeah, the departures from Schiphol are probably overlapping with the airport. We're on.
Scandinavian 3907, turn left heading 210, clear now west 18 right. Yeah, 2159er, speed 220 knots. 220 knots, 2159er.
I need to reduce mine to 220.
Scandinavian 428, Amsterdam 134, decimal 375, bye bye. Amsterdam 134, decimal 375, thank you for that. Oscar Sierra Tango, climb flight level 60.
Aircraft is struggling to level out here.
Transavia Bomb 60. Go ahead. Yeah, Transavia Bomb 60, you were paused there for like 10 minutes, that is not allowed. Yes, it was urgent, I had to turn out the cockpit. Okay, well then you have to disconnect from the network. Now turn right heading 360. 360 Transavia Bomb 60. EGL2159, descend 2000 feet, the QNH 1003.
2000, Q2103, BZ215, departure Air France 802.
Air France 802, hello, identified, climb flight level 130.
130, yeah, 802.
Busy network, guys.
First, Goldfish 29er kilo, descend 3000 feet, the QNH 1003.
3000 feet, QNH 1003, Goldfish 29er kilo.
437 Zulu 10, climb flight level 130.
130, 437.
November 70, correction, November 750 Sierra Bravo, climb flight level 50.
Climb flight level 50, November Sierra Bravo. Okay, 5,000 feet, so we contacted us, which is nice. We'll maintain our current speed of about 220. Yeah, very nice they contact you, but we're going to be out of their area soon.
Oscar Sierra Tango, what was your cruise level today?
Cruise level 370.
Oscar Sierra Tango, Roger, climb flight level 130.
130, Oscar Sierra Tango.
200
2159er, turn right, heading 160.
Turn heading 160, 2159. There, Dutch Good Day, get us to 29 Lima Airport, climbing 6,000 and 6,000.
Sorry, last station.
Get us to 29 Lima.
29er Lima, hello, climb flight level 130.
Climb flight level 130, get us to 29 Lima.
Transavia 1160, turn right, heading 090.
Right, heading 090, Transavia 1160.
Air France 802 Amsterdam, 134, decimal 375, bye-bye.
134, 375, goodbye.
Scandinavian 3907 Tower, Baba Liner, decimal 230, bye-bye. Coachman 1443, descent, flight level 45, turn right, heading 320.
45, heading 320,
And Postman 1443, the speed as low as you can get, of around 210 knots, please.
Yeah, traffic is insane today. So many planes in Schiphol Airport. This is why there's a delay.
Bird 437 Zulu Amsterdam, 134, decimal 375, bye-bye.
4375, -3472.
November 750 Sierra Bravo Amsterdam, 134, decimal 375, bye-bye.
134375 November Sierra Bravo, goodbye. Brilliant.
KLM 229er Lima Amsterdam, 134, decimal 375, bye-bye.
Here we go.
Upnet. 240 upnet, keep this for 200.
Great to have the ATC available.
Amsterdam, get up to Lima.
Let's go ahead and turn our landing lights off. We are below 10,000, but we're on departure. See those signs come off as well. November 750 Sierra Bravo with you 5,000 feet.
November 750 Sierra Bravo, outland to flight level 200.
Right to 200 flight levels, November Sierra Bravo. Okay, brilliant. So direct to 20,000 feet. I was just going to change it then on my MCP anyway, so that's good timing. But straight up, 20,000 feet. Let's go for a flight level change.
Going straight to November 46. Going to Charlie November Eastern, level 260. Descent track level 260, going first to November. Acceleration hello, Oscar, Mike, Sierra Tango. Oscar, Mike, Sierra Tango, outline to level 230.
Turn the APU off.
Oscar, Mike, Sierra Tango. And now it's flying for 18, leaving my airspace, nothing further, altitude is 1. The direction ahead is 541 Bravo, nothing further, altitude 8. What's that for regular 541 Bravo?
Even, wat te doen, decimal 8.
Thank you. 122.8, regular 541 Bravo, bye bye.
Estimated 428, nothing further, wat te doen, decimal 8.
Looks like there's nobody at London. Let's hope we go. Oh, let's hope there is. I hope so.
Air France 802, you can expect flight level 110 and so that report ready for descent.
Expecting 110 at Sodat, and we'll call you ready for descent.
Let's set standard pressure as well.
Also, ready good day, Lufthansa 2311, passing flight level 100.
Lufthansa 2311, hello. Oh, where is you go?
Climb flight level 250, Lufthansa 2311.
H5 to November, direct to Table, descent flight level van, descent flight level 200, direct to Table.
Hearing 5 to November, descent flight level 200, direct Table.
November 750, Sierra Bravo, there's nothing further, 122 decimal 8.
122 decimal 8 November Sierra Bravo, thanks to the ATC.
Ready for descent, Air France 802.
8.
Right. Here we are, guys. We're actually in the clear now. Let's get rid of that chart. I'm looking for the arrival for the approach, but we may just have to skip the chart and just go straight to the approach. So we could select runway of the ILS, the visual approach. Let's do ILS. I said it would be an ILS because it's like on the runway, guys. It is a steep approach. I think this is the one over the centre of London, or it may be the other side. Either way, it's going to be a steep approach. 3,000 feet down to 272 for the heading. It's even got a specific one there for the BAE 146, which I find interesting on the gradient. Most aircraft are only limited to 3% glide slopes, but this is considerably steeper. No, like it says it's free, but it says free there, but I have my doubts on this. Anyway, not below 2,000 feet. London City 322 for the ADF frequency, so I'm going to tune that in. We may as well. And then we can use that on here if we need to. So actually let's tune it into ADF 2 as well. And then we can select it on here. So ADF 2 is not popping up yet until we get within the range of it. So we'll come down runway 272 at 3,000 feet. The ILS frequency is 11115. We'll tune that in now nice and early. Thankfully it works on the Citation X. 20,000 feet, we're going well too fast. That's new though, the overspeed didn't have that before. It would usually just beep, but now it's got an actual warning that pops up. Just yet again, Laminar Research just completely blowing the market away with their Citation X plane. If you didn't wonder what this flight is already, this is a inauguration flight for the new FBO in Guernsey. What a journey it has been, everybody. As we make our final way. Our final way to our final destination, London City. I want to thank you all for your company. I want to thank you all for coming to watch me, the new viewers, the old viewers, and those who were just stopping by to see what's going on. I'm going to step away from the cockpit and get a drink. You can do the same, guys. I'll be back in a minute. have a nice lovely cup of tea here, ladies and gentlemen. Please join me, and no, it is not Tetley tea before you ask. It's some herbal teas, right. So we just got the Jacko, I've just seen it on there, so that'll be our descent down to 9,000 feet. So we're actually already there, guys. It's a very short approach today. Runway 27 isn't the steep approach, it's runway 09 that takes us over London City. So let's pre-plan for this. We're just going to descend down to 9,000, maybe 12,000 feet in preparation, and then 9,000 feet. Let's get descending. We've got to take into account that there's a lot of traffic in the area. And there's also, yeah, tons of traffic. There's also traffic in the actual airport we're going to as well. If we just check the IFR here, we should be able to see there's a Clacton DME. Usually around here is the Jacko, but I usually can't find it. So what we're going to do is just descend and hope for the best. Good luck. Slow our speed down to, should we say, 270? It wants us at 250 by Logan. I think it's 210 at Jacko, but the chart is a little bit tricky to find. I don't know which one we're going to select here for the arrival. It is also raining and lightning. Wow. This is the really severe weather I was talking about, guys. In my part of England, it's been throwing down like so severe weather that it's been hailing. It honestly felt like the building was gonna give way. It was that loud. Right, this is the approach arrivals. Can't see my approach on the arrival thing on here. Is this it? Yes, I think this is it. So we're coming in from the east. Yeah, this is it, to Jacko. And then down to runway 27. The Zaman? Is it Zaman or Hammond? 1 Charlie arrival, 264 on our heading. Pretty much heading in the night direction anyway. So we are heading towards that, and then we'll get to Jacko at 9,000 feet. Maximum 250, it is 210 at Jacko. I thought it was 210 speed limit. We will exceed that speed limit unless ATC tells us otherwise. Winds, what are the winds like? So we didn't actually bother with anti-ice, I just realised. We probably could do the anti-ice on. I'm going to put the windshield air on as well, keep it nice and clear. Yes, wind is looking 48, 50 knots at 20,000 feet. That kind of tells me we're going to have some rough bumpiness on landing. Yeah, no ATC in the UK, unfortunately. Down south, it's usually the other way around. Usually we would have ATC online. Oh man, I'm looking at the weather radar now, and it's severe. It is severe, guys. It's blue, it's orange, there's a little bit of red in there. And greens, of course, right over the UK and northern France. This has got to be the remnants of that storm. It's just the same rough weather moving up north there. Anyway, we're going to be flying into it momentarily, so fingers crossed we can make it. The weather radar hasn't actually shown anything, but then again, the next radar and explainer hasn't either. We did test it, and it was fully functional. It's also very dark in the cockpit, isn't it? So yeah, we have tested it, and it's supposedly working. We'll just wait and see if anything pops up. Let's go down to 9,000 feet. I'm going to use the vertical speed from this point on, I think. We'll just follow the lateral navigation and vertical speed things. Minimum's 200 feet. Q&H. Hmm. 99 at 8. Wow. Full flaps. Minimum runway length 1200. It's going to be a short one this, so we have to apply some braking on landing. London City's obviously got the steep approach, and then you've got the fairly short runway into taxi. 12 degrees outside, pretty warm. 27, like that. There's nothing much air there to see. Let's just go across and see what the speeds might be. So VREF versus the actual. It's saying the VREF there 118. Let's see how accurate that is. Performance, landing. VREF about 117, so that is pretty accurate, guys. And then the RAP is 122. Awesome. Max manual braking, flaps full, packs on, no en route icing. I think it's going to be wet as well, isn't it? So if we use max braking, we're going to be super careful here. So this is the required length when it's wet. Okay, so we need to apply braking, that's fair. Let's get our landing lights on, seatbelts are coming back on. We didn't turn the engine sync on because we probably weren't in a situation where we need it. So 9,000 feet, we've got the APU back online. The APU, let's get the APU bleed air on. An aircraft there is 16,500 feet above us.
Southend traffic of Bravo Oscar November Ski runway 05 Southend traffic.
I don't know what our approach is called, guys. I honestly don't know how to say that. Salmon? Perhaps the salmon is the only one I can think of. Either way, we'll give them a call out when we're on final. I'll just give them a call out somewhere down here and say we're final runway 27 London City. Hopefully that'll give them enough information. There is traffic there, but looks like they clear the runway, and for some reason they've parked all the way down there. So obviously we'll come off maybe by there. I don't know if we'll make it by that point, and then we'll taxi down to top parking by hangar. We've got a little aircraft there as well, which is flying around. We've got to be careful of. Okay, it's saying London main centre's now online. Does that mean the ATC is now online? No, it says that again, that's slightly out of our area in Daventry. A little bit up north. London traffic, November 750, Sierra Bravo, 9,000 feet, expecting ILS, runway 27, London City. I'll say expecting that, and then hopefully that gives other traffic the opportunity to, yeah, also prepare in case they're coming here as well, because there's so many planes around. I didn't realise Saturday was this popular. I don't remember it being this busy in the past. NDB should have come online, which I think it has, so it's pointed in the right direction. Sort of, it's sort of aligning where we're going. We turn the windshield heat off. Is the range going to build up? Probably not. Set the local QNH.
Southend traffic, Golf Bravo, Oscar November Whiskey, turning base runway 05, Southend traffic.
Ah, this guy. So that airport down there, that's this little plane, G-Bond W. I actually know that plane in real life. I really do know that one. That's fantastic. Yeah, it's good to see familiar call signs. Let's have a look out the window for him. That's really, really cool though. I think it's based on a 172. Pretty sure that was the aircraft anyway. It was always based in various places. Actually, we might be able to see him out the window. Can you see anyone down there? Just off to our left hand side. It's so small, the planes are so small compared to this one. He said he's turning base. I can't see him there. Anyway, we're at 9,000. I think we probably do need to descend at this point to 2,000 feet. That's so cool though to see that call sign here. I did not expect to see that. And we'll do the vertical speed again. Let's get the slats deployed. Yeah, very, very cool. I would like to be able to spectate that guy and see what he is actually flying. Is it the 172 or not? There's the airport. Maybe we can see him from here.
Southend traffic, Golf Bravo, Oscar November Whiskey, on approach runway 05, touch and go.
He's doing a touch and go as well. Nice. I feel like we should get down there with him and join him in the Piper Arrow 3 or something. Very cool. Well, I have to fly from Southend. I usually go to Clacton if I'm going to do down Southend, or Brighton of course, which I love. Love flying from Brighton down there, and Chichester Goodwood of course. Five degrees of flaps. This is where it gets tricky, guys. This is where it starts to pick up. Where is this plane? This has got to be the airport. Says he's coming into land 05. We can't see him, I don't think. I'll give up on that. Let's get prepared for our own landing at London City. Not got long to go either. We get down to 2,000 and I'll establish ourselves on the localizer. What a beautiful trip, everybody. What a beautiful flight. Look at this. Just a glorious time of day to land in London City. If you guys want to know about the aircraft, then check out my other streams, my other videos, hopefully other videos at some point, but mostly streams. And you'll be able to get a full rundown, the same as this one, from cold to dark to full flight for 2 sectors. Okay, there's London City. Oh, that's a nice view, isn't it? Look at that. I'm pressing something here, I have no idea what it is.
Traffic, triple 159 is turning left to intercept the ILS 675 traffic.
I think 180 is the approach speed of London City. Can of course check, it'd probably be below 210, so maybe about 180.
Yeah, that's 904, you're on the long one, lead. Oh, you're off.
Some unofficial communication. Interested.
Good traffic, Chateau 159 is clearly established. ILS 271, keep the traffic north to north.
15 degrees.
Emirates 33 landing 27 right.
Gonna maintain the thrust where it is.
141 line up, finally, and left, and up the threshold. Yeah, just so you know, the power trees are actually coming in. Right.
We need to give our call out.
Lining up behind company 287 on 27 line, feeder traffic.
Let's do the localizer. It's not picked up on it just yet. Maybe we do have to tune it in. It wasn't tuned for some reason.
Feeder traffic shot 3 Bravo, code 27 left, passenger 1900.
London City traffic, November 50 Sierra Bravo, established ILS runway 27.
Traffic EV9, public traffic EV469, landing on downrange 69.
We're ready, guys. It's going to be a steep one. You know what London's like. Still a steep approach. I thought it was a little bit better on this side, but it's just the same. Full flaps in gear. There we go. The ignition is continuous.
Traffic has a bardeck up to the north.
Fuel damper's coming off. Imagine if we come from the other way, guys. It's one of the best places, London. It's all custom scenery as well, by having our research.
469, picking up runway 269.
We can take control at minimums. 1000, let's just take control.
Shuttle for uniform.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay, so you're already on the red base, right?
Yes, I can.
Oh, okay, in that case, look at the 105 November. We'll also try to right base, remain on at least 70 miles, final for the rescue shuttle. I will come in after you.
500,
Many thanks, shuttle uniform.
400,
Gatwick traffic, SF 81 Triangle, landing up runway 26, land Gatwick.
minimum,
Continue.
100, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Reverses, spoilers. A little bit all over the place. The rudders, again, just not great. And you're braking from this point on. Oh, what a stop, everybody! What a stop! I really want those nose wheels to get improved steering. It's a really good reflection of the real life aircraft.
Taxi holding point 27 left via Lima Alpha.
Ignition back to normal, and we're going to turn the taxi lights on.
The jet transmitted on Honeycomb.
Either traffic speed 698 is taking off runway 27 left, either traffic.
Let's just go straight ahead. London City traffic November 750 Sierra Bravo, runway 27 clear. Brilliant. Parking brake is set. De-ice and pitos and window heat, we're going to turn it all off. Wind transfer shouldn't have been on. Let's get the APU. The APU's on, we can shut the engines off. All the lights can come off actually. Even the bleed air. Didn't check the pressurization that second flight because I knew it would probably be fine. Everything's looking good over here. I think that's ready to go. The ATC was on. Let's put that on standby. Can we turn it off? I think we can. There's a way to turn that off. We can test it. Anyway, standby will do. Flaps are retracted. The weather radar is off. Generators from the engines. Wow, brilliant. And of course the APU is running, which we probably don't even need at this point. Yeah, so that was powering the lights in there, but we don't need them for getting off. Whoa! Okay, so that's why you turn the APU off first. Right. What a incredible Saturday flight journey, everybody. I really feel like not only have we pulled in a good amount of money, but we've practiced the Cessna Citation once again and actually done a good job. I really enjoyed the flying. Let's chalk up. And the ability to land there. Again, I've got to get used to the rudder a little bit. I think that'll just improve over time and with experience, but I hope you've all enjoyed it. We are going to watch that replay because it was a pretty good landing. And I hope you will join me on the next flight. So until then, take care, stick around for the landing. Thank you very much.